Welcome to How to Make the Best Impression in the Boardroom. So I'm Yvonne Viger from Yvonne Viger Coaching and Astara Consulting Limited. So you're about to go into your first board meeting. So this is a big moment. It defines your role as a director and as part of the senior leadership team. So you want to make a great impression. So in my role, I've seen that this doesn't always happen. Mistakes range from being ill prepared with papers, missing deadlines, sitting in the wrong seat, talking too much or too little. So this checklist is to help you get it right. So first of all, preparing your papers. If you have a report to share, make sure you succinctly make your points. And when possible, where you are making recommendations, demonstrate how these are meeting the organisational vision, aims, and objectives. If they're not, it's questionable how beneficial your recommendations are, and they may not get approved. At the end, summarise any recommendations, ensuring these are clear and outline the next steps. A key requirement is, of course, to get the papers to the coordinator on time. It may not seem like a big deal, but papers need to be collated and agendas set. And if you can't meet the deadline, you're likely to find that it doesn't make the agenda. Now, if there are any points in your paper that may be contentious, approach those in the organisation who can be your ally and ask for support. It's often reassuring to know that when you step into the boardroom meeting and present, that there'll be someone else in the room who will back you up and who will be able to also recommend that your paper gets approved. When you receive the board papers, make sure you read them in advance. I know it sounds obvious, but when we have a busy day job, it can feel too easy to have a quick skim of the agenda and think that will do. But if you're going to make the impact you want, you need to be prepared. And this means understanding what is being presented in front of you so you can comment on it, vote on it, or whatever it is that's required. Things you need to consider are things like noting how they support or maybe don't support that organisational vision. This will tell you how aligned those recommendations are to the organisation vision for success. If they're delivering something completely different to what you're all about, then this needs to be raised. Now, if you don't understand something and have a silly question, the boardroom is not the time to ask. Now, it could be that what's being presented is unclear, or it could be that you just haven't understood. But either way, you don't want to be looking foolish. So go to the owner of the paper and ask for clarity so you can formulate your view ahead of time. Equally, if it means that the other person's presentation is unclear, they will be grateful for you highlighting it ahead of time too. Formulate your views and, if necessary, write down so that you can articulate this clearly in the meeting. Preparing for the meeting. Check out the etiquette. This will vary organisation to organisation. In some places I've been to, there's a particular seating plan depending on seniority, so you don't want to take someone else's space. Some places you need to raise your hand to speak or wait to be asked. Some organisations are a lot less formal, but find out from those in the know beforehand so you don't make any faux pas. What's the appropriate clothing for this meeting? Do you need to wear a suit or is it normal work dress? Think about where to sit, taking into account things like possible seating plans. But you do need to be visible. If you are sat at the sidelines, people may not see you or remember your impact. Consider who's in the room. Who do you need to win over? What influences them? What questions might they ask? We all have different personalities, which will lead us to have preferences around things such as results, bottom line, detail, or people factors. When you know who you have to influence and what their preference is, you can present the report in a way which ticks their boxes, and you'll gain more credibility. Be organised with your papers. If you're presenting, be clear on what you're going to say. This should highlight key points, recommendations, or required action so that you gain that support from the board. For other papers, have your opinion ready so you can make an important contribution. But remember, you don't need to comment on everything. So pick those areas that are important to you or where you feel you are most expert. Make it relevant. You don't want to be the person who is seen to be a real pain because you pick up on every single paper and every single point. So make sure you deliver and make most impact where it matters. The follow-up. Make sure you follow up any actions in a timely way. You need to be seen to deliver. So make sure you submit any additional information to the board to demonstrate that your first most priority is to that senior leadership team. If you're completely distracted by your other work, it will be seen that you're seeing your own team as the priority. But of course, once you get to that board level position, your first responsibility is to the board. I hope you found this helpful and that you can make great use of it in your new role. If you'd like more tips, please do follow us at Instagram at Yvonne Weiger Coaching or on LinkedIn. And please do keep an eye out for our newsletters and updates, which are all informative and helpful to you in your new role.